The latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen was one that didn't really hit any big spots for most of us watching, but what it really does is set up for what is next for the anime. Now, even though we can't really call it a cliffhanger, it was in itself a good way to summarize what was to come next in the Culling game arc, and what we can possibly expect to see from our beloved characters. Now, right after watching this episode, I couldn't help but look up the manga and started reading it immediately, to the point where I have essentially caught up to the latest chapter. And I gotta say, there is a lot more left to unpack for the story of Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't really want to spoil too much of what will happen in the story, but I would like to maybe lead you guys down a path to be excited for what there is to come. And I think the first thing to talk about is Kenjaku's overall plan and how he plans on implementing it. For many people who have watched the latest episode, it is interesting to see how Geto's original dream seems to form the basis of what is desired by Kenjaku, as he states that he doesn't want the annihilation of any forms of being, be it sorcerer, non-sorcerer, or cursed spirit. He wants all of them to still exist and for humanity as a whole to evolve. And he plans on doing this by involving everyone in this next stage of the story, Culling game. And what this essentially is a giant battle that involves all parties. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Now, how he plans on achieving this is something that was quite confusing upon first watching it though, but I now have a better understanding of it. What Kenjaku does in this episode that we have just watched is that he wants to achieve an evolution of mankind by casting idol transfiguration on two types of people, both of which have been personally affected by Kenjaku himself. The first one was people like Megumi's sister. Now, from what we have seen in Season 1, we know that Megumi's sister has been in a coma for an unknown reason beside the fact that she was cursed, and also that she was marked on the forehead. This is finally revealed in this moment when we realize that it was Kenjaku who had done this, and not only to just her, but to multiple people around Japan. He had also forced these people to ingest cursed objects just like Sukarno's fingers, so that when activated, they become vessels for those cursed objects. The second type of person that Kenjaku activates are people who he has given a mark to suddenly gain cursed techniques and powers, much like how Mahito was able to give Junpei a cursed technique and power to see curses too. Geto's usage of this technique is also possible due to the fact that he had marked them prior to this episode in case anyone was wondering how he was so overpowered, that he couldn't cast a technique like this with physical contact. And it is also important to note that this was only a one-off usage. Geto can never use this technique again, as he only gained it upon casting Uzumaki with the remnants of Mahito's soul in it. And what is interesting about all of this is that Geto's plan really does seem quite harmless in comparison to the raw evil of Sukarno. However, that just also means that there must be more at stake than what it seems. Now, after having read the manga to its full extent, I can only really reveal so much. All I can say is that this next arc will be full of information that requires a lot of focus to help digest, as it is an arc that truly demonstrates the full capacities of the concepts of the Jujutsu Kaisen universe, from fighting to morality to politics. It really is something to look forward to. Let's stay patient, friends, and I'll see you next time.